Today, we got the patch notes for everything that is Verdansk, so you guys are going to want to strap in because it is a long one, and I promise you guys it is worth it. There are some great things, and we're going to start off strong right now with this one right here, console crossplay. In Season 3, we were giving console crossplay by separating multiplayer ranked play and Call of Duty Warzone ranked play settings and adding a new multiplayer-only setting for quick play featured and party game matches. So, from here forward, we are going to be able to turn off ranked play and turn it off in console only. Console only for ranked play and console only for unranked play. So it says enables matchmaking with all gaming platforms when enabled select playlists. Enables matchmaking only with other consoles. And they're going to have 3 settings. Multiplayer ranked play, Call of Duty Warzone ranked play, and multiplayer unranked. So Warzone unranked is not in the game, but Warzone ranked play is in the game. So on launch, there will be nothing that's going to be console only, but there will be a console only when ranked play comes out. Hope that makes sense. Additionally, they have some settings when party members join. This doesn't matter. You guys can look over that. It doesn't really matter. They added some new UI stuff. Nothing crazy. We're going to go to the things that matter only. So, let's scroll down to the Return of Verdansk. There's rewards. And now, we read some of those already. Original Gulag's coming back. The Capture the Flag. Rebirth Island will be returning. New modes. The Battle Royale Casual. We've talked about that already. High Trip returning. We've talked about that already. Everything I've talked about, by the way, is in a previous video for patch notes. If you haven't seen those already, go check them out. There's way more here, so we're not going to waste time rereading things. On playlist, it's Battle Royale Solo, Duo, Trio, Quads, then Resurgence, Quads, Rebirth Island. It says launch window. It's going to be within like a couple of hours, so don't worry about that. Plunder, Quads, and then the new Casual Royale and Boot Camp. Now, ranked play will not be coming till Season 3 Reloaded. Let's scroll down. Free Fall we knew about. 360 Revive. That's great. That's a great addition. Endgame circle pacing. So here's your circle pacing. So, closes at 430. Second at 340. Third, 250. Fourth, 150. Fifth, 110. 50. 50. 55, 45, 35. So, progressively getting faster up until the 8th circle. Then there's a 5-second delay. But all of them are very good. Let me tell you. These are good changes for the circle pacing. Map assets are updated. We're going back to all classic assets. Ascenders. We're going to have the Ascenders disabled on launch, but are going to return on mid-season. They will be in Plunder, however. The Gulag loadouts. So, Circle 1, your primary is nothing. Your secondary is a Strider, 9mm, or a GS45. So, pistols only. Second circle, pistols only. But you also get a C9, an AS Val, or a PP919. Third circle, C9, AS Val, PP9. But they have attachments on them. Extended mag, and quick grip. Then the pistols, same deal as the second circle. And then fourth circle onward. C9 with extended mag and quick grip. Extended mag, recoil springs, quick grip, compensator. Pistols are the same. And lethals and tacticals are the same. Now, so players will now infill and spawn with the 9mm, replacing the GS. Late game redeploy. Late game redeploys will now spawn players closer to the ground, reducing the need to hover while positioning during final circles. The system has not been turned on since Black Ops 6 launch. Player respawn angles. This is a quality of life change. Players will now respawn looking approximately 30 degrees downward instead of directly at the horizon, providing a clearer view of potential landing areas. This adjustment aligns with natural player behavior when scouting landing spots. That's a good change. Unsuppressed red dot distance. The distance at which an unsuppressed weapon displays a red dot has been reduced. Resurgence to better align with the map size. Reduced 112 meters on Rebirth Island, down from 250. So it says unsuppressed red dots are a core to Call of Duty Warzone experience. And while developing Verdansk, we took good care in evaluating the strength of red dots on the map, which previously was a static value regardless of play space. While reviewing these values, we felt that given vastly smaller maps of Rebirth Island, the red dots should be better aligned in the small map experience. That's a good change. Loot, back to floating loot, baby! Adjustments. Orange crates are going to be actually worth going for. There's a ground loot refresh. High value zones. These are going to be constant every match, allowing players to reliably identify hospital, military base, superstore as POIs with enhanced ground loot. Further enhancements to this feature will be added in the future, so possibly cycling them out. Then you have your basic, legendary, and reusable boxes. Duffel bags, medical cabinets, and weapon lockers. These sources of loot have been removed. Perfect. We love that. Second chance mechanics. The following item has been removed from the loot. Gulag tokens are gone. Reinforcement flares and redeployment tokens are gone. The only available methods after death are Gulag victories, buy station buybacks, and jailbreaks. Just like the old days. Self-revives. So, you could find them like this. Legendary supply boxes, random. Scavenger contract, random. Buy station, 4,000, and during a fire sale for free. Death tax. Cash dropped upon death has been adjusted to assist players returning from the Gulag, providing them a larger portion of cash compared to before for a mid to late game recovery. 50% of cash will be dropped on the ground. 50% will remain in the eliminated player. From 20%. Previously, 50% of the cash dropped on the ground, while players keeping 20 to 30% being entirely removed from the economy. After months of playtesting, we noted that the regain in mid to late game was almost impossible, so designed intent was to allow players to redeploy with little more cash to give them a slight leg up when it comes to getting back into the flow of the game. Loot angles. Interactions now require more precise aiming to reduce accidental item pickups. Great change. Rarity outlines. Rarity outlines now gradually fade into view only when players are within a logical proximity rather than remaining visible at all distance. Big W. Loot card positioning. Loot cards are now centered over items to improve readability, particularly when combined with floating loot. Loot cards remain at a fixed height rather than moving with the player's view. Loot cards are hidden when the players sprint, dive, slide, or use lethal tacticals field upgrades. This is all great. These are big W's. Which, by the way, speaking of W's, hit that subscribe button. We are getting so close to 40,000 subscribers, and as we go through these patch notes, this channel is not just a news channel. We are going to be uploading gameplays, great loadouts, so on and so forth. And I need you guys to hit that subscribe if you want to see amazing content right here. So, do me that favor and maybe go follow my Twitch so that way you guys can experience these things live and be able to be in a video possibly. Vertical redesign. So this is the buy station. Now, you can actually see the cost on these buy stations are a lot better. I'm going to try to zoom in here. Open the image in a new tab. Did it open? Okay. So, you can see here, we have armor plates at 300, cluster strikes 3,000, precision airstrike 5,000, UAV 6,000, muni 4,000, armor box 4,000, gas mask 3,000, self revive 4,000, loadout marker 6,000, which is insanely cheap. Insanely cheap. We're gonna go past that. Redeploy all button is a new button in the buy station. We talked about that in a previous video. We're going to keep going here. Spawn locations. Buy stations will spawn in the same exact 30 static locations across the match. 30 buy stations on the map is a great, great thing. So you can see here, loadout markers are 6,000 in solos. Duos, trios, and quads, 10,000. That is exactly what they should cost. Nothing more, nothing less. I would almost say solos, it should be 8,000, but I'm cool with 6. Movement. So, from what I've heard, don't judge it too hard based on these numbers because it feels different, but it's not noticeable enough to make you feel like the game is super slow. Crouch movement reduced by 10%. Crouch to stand speed increased by 15%. So the speed at which you go from crouch to stand. Crouch to stand speed, while ADS is increased by 39%. Pro movement speed reduced by 5%. Sprint movement speed reduced by 5%. Directional sprint animation blend speeds increased for improved fluidity. These values bring Call of Duty Warzone's movement speeds closer to the spirit of the original experience while still preserving the fluidity of Black Ops 6. We encourage players to get hands-on with these fine-tuned changes as they can be hard to express in patch notes. The proof is in the pudding. Jump cooldown. Reduce the cooldown by 40% for more improved responsiveness during repeated jumps. So, that doesn't mean that bunny hops are back. It just means that the cooldown to jump again is even faster. 40% faster. Omni sprint and backsliding reduced by 8.5% to better balance the strafe movement. Slide friction increased by 4% to reduce overly slippery engagements. They say these adjustments address the dominant power of strafe engagements while maintaining fluidity for mechanics such as sprinting, strafe reloading, and general navigation. Responsiveness across movement systems have been improved to ensure smoother gameplay while striking a better balance for Call of Duty Warzone's fast-paced encounters. This will bring back that feeling of the classic Warzone experience we all love and know. Now, Recon Contract is back. We knew that. Supply runs, contract multipliers are back, but you are not getting an XP bonus. No XP bonus. Tablet models. All contracts have been reverted to their original tablet models, providing that players with nostalgic experience. Adjustments. So, we have the bounty, most wanted, recon, scavenger, and supply run. No longer do we have the big game bounty, signal intelligence, or spy drones. Spawn rebalancing contract spawn rates have been adjusted through Battle Royale to enhance distribution and improvement overall through a gameplay balance. Payout updates. Contract payments have been updated to align more closely with the values reminiscent of the Verdansk era. Although not exactly matching them, supply runs, recon contract payouts are now standardized to match the scavenger contract values in both Battle Royale and research modes. So, that means supply runs and recons are actually on the same level as a scavenger. So, it might be worth it to land and do a supply run to get your loadout. Completing a most wanted contract no longer results in a supply cash drop. Plunder's specific contract payouts have been adjusted for consistency across modes. Recon contract progress. Added upward arrows indicating how much faster a recon contract is being captured by your team, depending on how many players are on the location. All right, public events. We have fire sales, jailbreaks, loadout drops, and restock. We no longer have flyby, cash drop, contractor, rogue signal, runaway train, and recon flyover. Great. Love that. So, the Thermite. This one's a little controversial, so hear me out. In Season 3, Thermites return as a specialized anti-vehicle and area denial tool, echoing its original use in Verdansk. Unlike previous versions, Thermites no longer guarantee a kill upon sticking an opponent. However, it will deal sufficient damage to down players in 2 armor plates or fewer. Thermites now instantly explode vehicles if their health reaches 0 from its damage ticks, similar to C4. And it's going to be unlockable via Black Ops Tribute event. Alright, so now we have the following have been buffed. So, available in the via map loot. Available via map loot. C4, frag grenade, Molotov, Semtex grenade, spring mine, thermite, throwing knife. Tacticals are concussion grenade, decoy, experimental gas, flashbang, smoke grenade, snapshot grenade, stim shot. Only available via custom loadouts are blast trap, combat axe, drill charge, impact grenades, and thermo grenades. Tacticals are neurogas, mines, prox alarm, shock charge, and spy camera. You can only get those through your loadout. They will no longer be in the loot pool. Satchels are back to the old school satchel. You get an armor satchel, and then it also says munition satchel, but it's only available via Bandolier wildcard. So, might be worth it for some of you to use Bandolier still. Maximum armor plates. Default capacity has been reduced from 6 to 5 to match the classic experience. And an armor satchel now increases the plate capacity by 3, totaling to 8 plates when equipped, down from 6 to the classic experience. Armor drops. Eliminated players will constantly drop at least 1 armor plate in Battle Royale and Resurgence. This does not apply to bots in Boot Camp. Gulag armor removed in Unranked. In Unranked Battle Royale modes, the Gulag now features health-only combat, placing greater emphasis on the precision and tactical movement. Cool, I'm fine with that. Lower TTK and only the Gulag. Armor plate color improvement. The armor plate color has been improved, where the color hue will be darker if the player doesn't have a full plate. The color will remain the familiar bright color hue when the player plates are full. Field upgrades in the squad widget. So that's added. We talked about that in a previous video. Field upgrades, armor box, deployable cover, heartbeat sensor, munitions box, recon drone, trophy system, utility box, available via the battle ready wildcard only. These are all disabled. Heartbeat sensor increased battery life from 60 to 120 seconds. So heartbeat sensors can be a little bit more usable now. Reclaimable field upgrade icon. An interactable icon white dot now appears on reclaimable field upgrades to better highlight that they can be re-equipped. Killstreaks. Advanced UAV available via activating 3 consecutive UAVs. Cluster strike precision, supply UAV only through battle ready, and UAV. So, precision airstrike indicator. To return to the classic feeling of Verdansk, precision airstrike minimap notification was added last year, has been removed. Whoa. Precision airstrike minimap notification. So you'll no longer see the path at which a precision airstrike is going to hit. We've removed the precision airstrike approximate path indicator on the minimap in order to return back to how it worked in 2020, where part of its purpose was to surprise your enemies. We will monitor feedback, data, and sentiment on this as we look weeks ahead. Not sure how I feel about that. I'm gonna be honest. I want to stay positive though. Crowded airspace notification. The airspace too crowded message will now appear when a player attempts to pick up or aim down sight with a kill streak in an area where too many aerial strikes are active. This removes uncertainty about kill streak usability upon looting. Perks. Lootable perks. All lootable perks have been removed from Battle Royale as we return to the classic feeling. These may return in a future update depending on feedback. So far, my only negatives are the precision airstrike and the lootable perks, but maybe we'll like that. Reflecting on our 5th anniversary, it's important to acknowledge our journey and current state, yada, 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 yada. I'm sorry, I'm not going to read that. You guys can read it. Classic weapons. Kilo is back. Fully automatic. Available as a Warzone login reward. The CR56 AMAX. This lightweight... Yeah, we know what the AMAX is. I don't got to read it. The HDR. Back. Cali Sticks Melee. 2-hit kill. Extremely fast speed. Short range. New conversion kits. SWAT 556 converted to a GRAW. This will be available. The battle pass page 5. Monolithic Suppressor. The big W. Monolithic Suppressor. Superior sound suppression and increased range. Moderate weight increase affects agility. Ideal attachment for extending your damage range on big maps like Verdansk while retaining the concealment provided by a suppressor. That's on page 7. Default loadouts available via loadout crates during a match have been updated with more competitive options. So all default loadouts are a little more competitive. So now we have weapon adjustments. So I don't know if I'll go through these necessarily all at once, but I'll try my best to, eyeball each one. So the AK looks like it got a buff. The AIMS looks like it got a bit of a buff. The AS Val got a buff. Yo, Cypher Post-patch damage is raised, but the range is nerfed. So, you know, take that as you will. Closer range fight, it's still going to kill fast. But it's, you know, its ranges hit a little harder. So they like the gun, they just don't like the ranges. GPR, little bit of a buff. I mean, we're looking like everything has a faster TTK across the board. They didn't want to change the health, so instead they changed the actual guns to kill faster. This is going to be a real toss-up. XM4 got a buff. Its range got nerfed. The Goblin, aim down sight improved 240 to 230. They didn't even touch this. They just said, make it aim down sight faster. Some machine guns. A little bit of a buff for the C9 with a damage range nerf. The Jackal got a buff overall, bringing it back possibly into the meta. This could be meta again, the Jackal. Compact, a little bit of a buff. KSV got a buff. Oh, everything's gonna kill so fast. The PP919 got a buff. This is looking like everything got a buff. This all got a big buff. Big boy buff. Range and damage. The Tonto's damage is insane. 60? What is that? Like 3 bullets? That's an insane buff. Shotguns. So shotguns, so far, just getting a range buff. Nothing too crazy. Looks to be about the same. Yeah, a little bit of range buffs. That's about it on shotguns. Light machine guns. You've got a damage buff, and it looks like a little bit of a range buff. The GP got a nerf with minimum damage and range getting a buff. The PU buff. XMG buffed. Oh, we're looking good. Marksman rifles. Okay, I just want to say, I hope to see the Kar 98 in this. I know we're only looking at Black Ops guns, but I want to see the Kar 98 get a buff. So the AEK buffed. DM10 buffed. Yo, we might have a DMR meta again. Oh, we might have a DMR meta. This is kind of crazy. The SWAT, big buff, because they want the Graw. I think Graw might be meta. TR2, damage buffs, minimal. The Sarkov, little buff and a little nerf even. Yo, they added the Kar 98K. Lower torso and upper arm multipliers increased from 0.95 to 1.2. Oh, it might just kill in one shot, even to the neck and the chest. Leg multipliers from 0.7 to 0.9. Yeah, the Kar 98 might be a move. Okay. They nerfed the 9mm, so they're making pistols not as good. Oh, maybe not. The Grek got buffed. And the GS got nerfed. Pretty big nerf. Strider got nerfed. The pistols aren't going to be as good. Okay. Now, this is kind of crazy. So, I believe a lot of these launchers are going to be a one-shot kill. So, Sigma, 250 damage, that's full health. Outer explosion is 75 damage. So, inner explosion is 250. Outer, 75. Same goes for the HE1. 250, 75. The Joker, 300 damage. 150 on the middle, and the outer is 50. Pila, 250. 155, 75. RPG 250. So these are all going to blow up vehicles almost instantly. And finally, the special weapons. So Siren got a little buff. And that's all that is. Vehicles. Heli, cargo truck, Polaris, LTV, ATV. We know about the adjustments. They did a big buff to them. But here's the thing. Launchers now can one hit. So ATVs, they all one hit. Thermites, 10 ticks for it to explode. But these all will kill in one hit. C4, traps, grenades, launchers. Helis, 1 to 2 hit with launchers. Grenades, 2 hit. Traps, 1 hit. C4, 1 hit. Thermite, 13. Joker, 1 hit. So Joker is one hitting everything. Thermites take a little time. C4 is one hitting everything except the cargo truck. 2 hits. Grenades is 3 to 5 on the cargo. 1 to 3 with the launchers. 1 to 2 with the traps. I'm going to say this. C4 is going to be meta. I'm going to be running C4s constantly, which I'm very excited for. I love the C4s. Pinging near vehicles. Made improvements to accuracy of pings to loot near a vehicle to avoid the ping to snap vehicles. Classic Warzone victory screen is back. Big W. TAC map compass icons. So the TAC map has a circular cursor from the classic Warzone experience. All map icons can be spiritually faithful to the color palette from Verdansk, with some improvements to help better identify certain items at a glance. Ping visuals. The ping shape has been reverted to the triangle shape of to the lollipop shape that featured in classic Verdansk. Go-to pings have a classic visual, improved legibility. Score feeds. Standard score events now appear yellow for that classic look. Special score events are highlighted in white for better distinction. We know about the weapon inspect to see attachments. We know about the death pings, favorite loadouts, all good widgets. Death skull icon. The size of the death icon has been increased to make it for players to locate their previous death location based on feedback. Great. Navigation pings updated to provide clear, more intuitive iconography with a design that may feel familiar to veteran players. All this is sounding great. TAC map centering options. New setting map assist provides a few different options to enable players to have more agency over their experience. The auto zoom center and the auto zoom and center. Upon opening the map, it will auto zoom and auto center on the player each time. Auto center upon opening the map, it will auto center on the player each time. Zoom and center once. Upon opening the map, it will auto zoom and auto center on the player once per match. Center once. Upon opening the map, it will auto center on the player once per match. Off. Upon opening the map, it will be showing the last location of the TAC map was closed on, which means the players will need to manually adjust the map each time they open it. All right, audio. This is the big one, baby. Cinematics, infill, gulag, and exfil are all the classic sounds. Music and announcer re-recorded. Classic. Hit markers are back to the classic sound, including armor and armor breaks, back to the classic sound. Death doors, back to the classic sound. Footsteps, loot chests, buy stations, contracts, UI sounds, pings, splashes, and progression, all back to the classic sounds. Occlusion and reverb. Transitioned from the older raycasted occlusion system to Microsoft Triton Acoustics audio middleware, provide realistic audio occlusion, obstruction, and reverberation. So, what's that essentially saying is they transferred from the old one to Microsoft's Triton. Improved sound behavior around corners and surfaces. Custom-tuned data specifically optimized for Call of Duty Warzone. Sound modifiers. Adopted a new procedural technology developed by Treyarch that dynamically adjusts based on gameplay elements, entity speed, angle, elevation. Footsteps and ladders. Unique tuning for Call of Duty Warzone footsteps separate from premium titles, including Modern Warfare 3. Introduced with Modern Warfare 3. Friendly teammates' footsteps reduced when positioned behind the player. Footstep loudness dynamically scales with entity speed. Footstep pitch changes based on the player's elevation above versus below. Ladder sounds amplified and adjusted based on the player movement speed. Boosted audio cues for jumping, landing, and distinctive ceiling footsteps to clearly indicate players running overhead. Cloth and gear mantling. Cloth and gear sounds are now distinctively tuned for Warzone, separate from premium titles. Increased clarity and volume of mantling and melee sounds, differentiating friendly and enemy movements. Enhanced mantling audio to resemble footsteps for greater situational awareness. The loot boxes audio pitch now dynamically adjust based on vertical elevation, providing clear vertical position feedback. Big W's here. Big W's. And then we have all the bug fixes, which you guys can go through and read it. It is a good amount here. But that is everything that you need to know with Verdansk. Guys, Kilo's dropping in just a couple of days. Make sure you guys are ready for that. That on the second you guys download the game ahead of time, go get your gun leveled up. It's going to be a great season. And I promise you guys, I'm excited. I love it. Multiplayer is going to be free that day. Go grind. And listen, do me a favor. Like and subscribe, guys. We are so close to 40K. I'll see you guys when we're live or in the next video.